Hey, what's up? I wanted to record this short video. I'm not sure, honestly, if I'm even going to post it. I kind of feel under the weather. I've been kicking a cold for the last week or so and kind of feel like hell right now. But something that I saw online earlier reminded me of a realization that I wanted to share with y'all, with whoever is watching this. And I'll do my best to keep it short. So, if you've ever been interested in studying or looking into neuroscience and understanding how the brain works, how our thoughts work, how our minds work in our favor and to our detriment, you probably know that our minds are geared over tens of thousands of years to basically protect us from risks, from predators, from death, right? So, thousands and thousands of years ago, whenever we didn't have shelter readily available, when we didn't have community, when we didn't have weapons and all these other things that we've got now, our minds were basically conditioned to be on the lookout constantly for threats. And that was very beneficial back then. And it is still occasionally beneficial to this day. However, what usually ends up happening nowadays is that our minds run rampant. And because most of us have a roof over our heads, we know where our next meal is coming from, we know how we're going to pay the bills, we don't have life threatening obstacles in our way, our brains kind of get hyperactive, go into overdrive, and start to create these scenarios that are threatening to us. And if you've ever, worried about something you did at work, or you worried about a particular action you took in a relationship, or some sort of behavior that you just let your mind spin you out of control and basically spin you up and thinking, oh my God, this worst case scenario is going to be the thing that happens, and it's going to end my relationship, or I'm going to be completely fired and unemployed, and I'll never be able to find a job again, and I'll nobody will ever hire me, and then I'll be homeless and destitute, and nobody will like me, and nobody will return my texts, and my family will hate me, and all these other things we spin ourselves up about is basically our survival aspect of our mind kicking in and trying to protect us. And for years and years after I learned this, it was probably about 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, that this really clicked with me to what my mind was trying to protect me from and doing in the meantime, which was actually causing me a lot more pain than it was really helping me. But 3 or 4 years ago, whenever I realized this, I started engaging in this daily active battle with my mind over basically you're not in control in spinning up these crazy fantasy scenarios of where all this pain would happen to me, and I'm gonna fight to push you down so that I can actually live a meaningful, fulfilling life. And I kept trying to battle with the mind and battle with my own mind of being look, you don't have to protect me anymore, you don't have to do this. I'm get the fuck out of the way so that my purpose and my drive, my fulfillment can take over, and I can actually really build cool shit and leave a great legacy. Your desire to protect me is interfering with this, and I kind of resent you for it. And it wasn't until really, honestly, yesterday. So this is October 17th, 2019, literally yesterday. And this is after 3 or 4 years of, feeling like I'm struggling and battling with my own mind every single day, that it finally hit me that, we shouldn't try to fight what is and what exists in our lives. And we should accept the reality of what is without accepting the consequences necessarily of that reality. And so instead of feeling inadequate or feeling like I needed to battle my mind for trying to go to bat for me and protect me for all these years, if instead I could acknowledge that part of me, and this sounds a little woo woo, I know, but if I can instead acknowledge the part of me in my mind that has been trying to protect me for all these years and appreciate that, and appreciate that, you know, in a lot of situations in my life, I've not struggled or suffered because my mind has protected me from those threats, those fears, that struggle, that suffering, and it's done me some good. And so instead of like trying to battle that and say, I'm going to live a life of fulfillment and purpose and contribution and all this other shit, and the mind has no place here. And instead of saying, mind, you're wrong and you've been wrong all these years, instead just saying to myself that I appreciate what my mind has been doing for me. And I appreciate that it's been trying to protect me from all of this, potential, usually hypothetical pain, and that I can appreciate what it was trying to do for me, but it's no longer in charge. It's not in control. And while I appreciate what it's done and the role it's played and what it's been trying to do, I'm going to choose to continue to live in a different way. And again, this may sound woo-woo to a lot of people. However, for me, this released a lot of internal friction where, every single day I felt like kind of like sandpaper, like my two halves rubbing together of, my goals, dreams, like plans, like that fulfillment part of me fighting against this aspect of my mind that's been trying to basically protect me from pain and from suffering, from failure and all this crap over the years. And so rather than trying to fight against it, instead just saying, appreciate you, bro. And legitimately, I can't express my gratitude enough for what this part of me has been trying to do, but that's not the way we're going to live anymore. And we're going to try to do this a different way. And we're going to keep doing this a different way. And so that's a long-winded way of saying sometimes you can just reconfigure some of the things inside of yourself and gain a lot of clarity the way that I have over the last 24 hours or so. So that was a very short 15-second Instagram story that has now turned into like a 5-minute video. And, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, make sure you tell me why.